Okay, so this is the video for doing my body, and the goal of this one is to show how to take parts that you've taken off of the web and derive them and make them so that they're the right size so you can bring them into your drawing. My goal is to do a lot of the legwork in the background and then show you so you're not watching me do a lot of it in front of you so I can shorten up the length of the video. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to start by opening up here. We're going to go to New Standard IAM. And we're going to go to place, and I have to go find Duff Body, which who knows which one that is. Looks like it's this one, number 4. So we'll say open. You'll notice I already put the neck on my head. I didn't think that we needed to do that together. I did some of the processing without you so that we could save a little bit of time here. So the neck is on there. And as soon as that's done, we're going to work on bringing in the chair. So we're just going to rotate this around a little bit, and still all of our old rules apply. You want to make sure that any of the moves that you make, you do nice and slowly, because inventor likes to go crazy. So like I'm going to zoom out a tick, about 2 ticks, and then we're going to go place, and I'm going to go find the chair that we made. So let's see, I'm going to go back 1, 2, so and then the chair is down here, office chair. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bring that in, and see what the problem there is, and we'll explain what the fix is. Well, to give it away here, you'll notice the chair is going to come in extremely large. It's going to come in full size. I've already scaled my body to be 5 inches tall, 55 inches I think I went with. I measured myself sitting here in the chair, so 55 inches. And now the chair is full size, and if you zoom out, it really does look like a 5-inch thing sitting on top of a 55-inch thing. So we're going to take that back out. And we're going to save this right now. So let's go to Save As, Save Copy As. I'm going to save this as, let's call it, I'm just going to, because this is the final one here. Let's go 9. Better be the final one. Duff Body, we'll name it. 9 Duff Body. And we'll say, and we're saving this as not, as this thing saves as an STL, make sure you pay attention to that. We want it to save as an assembly file. So 9 Duff Body, click Save. So there it is. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open up a new standard IPT. If you'll probably remember this, really the same process as we did before. And I'm only going to do one of the objects and then explain the rest. So we're going to open that up. We're going to go to Derive when that opens. We're going to go find our office chair here. So there it is, office chair. And we have to scale it. Now, I mentioned that my body is 5 inches tall, and that if I'm sitting here in my chair, I'm 55 inches tall. So I went and I did that math, and we get 0.090. Now, just so you don't have to kind of suffer through it, watch me suffer through it, 090 worked out where the chair was still a little bit too small. So I bumped that up to 0.1. I might even go like 0.11. I might go like 0.105. Because it was still just a little bit small. So we're going to say, okay, hopefully that works out. Again, there's a little bit of guesswork. You try to make it as accurate as possible, but it's difficult to be exact. So then we're going to go and we're going to save it, save copy as, and I'm going to name it, I'm going to save right over the top of this one. No, I better not. So let's go 9 office chair. 9. The rest of them will be 3s. I'll just steal the ones. We'll see. Save its dependents, yes, say okay. We'll X out of this, we'll go to our assembly, and we'll insert our chair, our new chair. Hopefully that works out pretty good for us. As soon as it's done deriving it, looks like it is. Save to that, no. Now we'll go to place, and we'll find our chair, 9 office chair, and you see we're looking pretty decent there. So let's get a look at it from the left. Looks like I could sit on that chair, looks like it's in the neighborhood. One of the more important things you got to do is you have to kind of rotate my body. I'll have issues because I'm seated, right? So there's no flat spot on the back side of me. So I'm going to try to use my feet and the bottom of the chair to constrain this. So we're going to go to constrain. I'm going to go to flush, and I'm going to grab the bottom of the chair. And the bottom of my foot, I hope. Okay, let's try that again. Back to our first selection. Let's go to the bottom of my foot. And then for some reason it won't let you grab the bottom of the chair. It'll let you grab the bottom of this, but not the bottom of the chair. I don't know why. So we'll click on that. And we'll flush those 2 up. And we'll just say apply for now. And then we'll come back up here and we'll look at our drawing. And you see I'm relatively flush, but I'm sitting above the chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to find that constraint, that flush constraint. I'm going to go to edit, and then I'm going to play with a number that kind of sits me down where my feet are flush with the bottom of the chair, so my bottom and the chair bottom. So I'm going to type in 0.2, see what that does. That raised me up, so I'm going to change that 0.2 to negative. So that sits me down. The number one thing you want to make sure of is that you get a pretty good shot of... Okay, so here's all of our wheels lined up right across the way here. And I've got this weird soft spot on the bottom of my foot that's going to stick out. We really want those wheels to be the ultimate, low point. So I don't want my feet sticking through, so I'm going to raise that up to like 0.18. See what that does. It's not we want the wheels touching and your feet above, and that's the tough spot right there. As you see me kind of going down. So really, let's go like 0.17. Pretty good. 1.6. I think that's perfect. Now let's just go up here and make sure that wasn't so much that my rear end isn't on the chair, which looks like it is. Best we can tell, I would say. So I think that's the number we're going to go with. So let's say okay, 0.16. And then you can still move things around, and you can work to constrain this more. What I think the easiest thing to do is because it's not an exact science of where exactly I'm sitting on the chair, is kind of move your body around by view. So here's the left view, and I'm going to go to the right view and see how I'm sitting to the side here. If you do it from like a different orientation, it's going to go kind of kablooey. So just keep moving it around. I think that looks decent. And you want to make sure your body is melded into the chair a little bit, because you want, when you make an STL, for the things to stick together. If you have them separate, it's going to print them as separate objects. So that's what we're going to go with. So let's zoom out, and we'll bring in the other ones. Now look, I already did the scaling on the monitor and the desk. So you're still going to have to go and whatever your other parts are, derive those. But I'm going to skip that step just to kind of save some time here. So I'm going to go to Office Desk. It says no back. Did the best I could to find a desk that looks similar to mine. So there's that. Escape out of that. And I'm going to free rotate it. I think it's easier just to start in the general orientation that you want to start in. So I'm going to do that. Say OK. I'm going to go, I'm going to pull the desk into me. Now, it'll move around a bunch on us here. Something that's really important is, again, we want things to touch. So like I'm purposely pulling that desk into my gut a little bit. And I'm doing that so that when it prints it all as one big unit. Something to certainly consider. The other thing I would like to do is I would like to get this desk on a similar constraint to my feet, or at least constrained with the bottom of the wheels. So I'm going to do the same thing we did before, and we're going to mate. So let's go constrain, and we're going to go flush, I think is the one we want. Here to the bottom of this. We'll zoom back out here, and I'll hit left and make sure that's decent. So now we've got to bring it down just like we did the last one. I want to bring that down to the base of those wheels so that the wheels and the desk are hitting the ground exactly flush. At least that's the idea. So let's zoom down here. We'll try to see, there's the wheel touching, and it's still not. So let's try our 0.16, but I don't think that's going to be how we want to go. I think we're going to want to drop it down more. Yeah, we want to go like 0.22. See how that works? 0.22. A little more. 0.23. A little more. 0.25. Pretty good. Let's try 0.245. 240. 23. Now we're a little screwy somewhere. So those wheels are flush. The desk is still up a little bit. 2.4 looks too low now. So let's play 0.235. Maybe 2.4 was perfect. 3.8. 4.0 is what we're going with. So we will say apply. Say OK. Hit my left view, and I think that's all in line. And my feet are off the ground, and everything is relatively flush. I'm not going to put a base on this. You know how on Abby's we put a base on it? And the reason is, and I probably should because it would be easier to print from a flat standpoint, but it's going to print all this support material up in here. And if I put a base on it, I'll never be able to get a tool in there to actually crack all that out. The alternative would be to print the desk separate from the base and things like that. But I would rather print it as one big unit. It's really up to you how you choose to do it. But if you do them as separate pieces when you print them, then you're going to have to find a way of adhering them together later, and that can be difficult. So there's our desk. I'm going to bring in my monitor. Oh, so the other thing I want to do is I'm going to play with how this is oriented on my body. So I do want to have it like go into me a little bit, but not quite that far. So we'll move that in a little more. Let's look at a top view. Might make that a little easier. I think, yeah, that's way too much. I guess the left view is going to be the best one. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. And then let's spin it around here. And we'll look at the bottom. And I want to move it over so I'm a little more centered in the view itself. Because it's kind of the side of the desk you want to be on. Let's make sure we didn't lose our connecting points there. We did a little. It's a little deeper now than I want it to be because I moved myself a little more solidly. Now it's touching. I could even go in a little bit more. I think that's decent. Okay, once you've got some of these things really the way you want them, so that's how I want the desk, that's how I want my body, it's definitely how I want the chair. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to ground some of this stuff. So I'm going to ground that, I'm going to grab my body. I think I'll grab my body over here though, just to make sure it takes the neck with it. I'm going to ground that as well. Go to the chair, ground that. Now those things are locked in place, and that'll help it so as you bring in other objects, they don't move. So let's go to the right view, or any view really. And we're going to bring in our monitor, so let's go place, and we'll go desktop monitor, and I'm going to put this up here, and again I'm going to free rotate it. I think it's a little easier to start that way. So let's go free rotate, click on our object, and let's see, we want to do that, and then we want to do this. Oops, not that one. Try that again. Free rotate, this, and this. I did it again. Free rotate. And we want this one to spin it in the general direction of me, and then we're going to mount it, or we're going to mate it, I should say. Constrain, mate it to the desk, click apply, cancel. Let's get a top view here, and then we'll move it in the general direction that I would like it to end up being. I'm also going to free rotate it, and I'm going to spin it so it kind of looks like there's a chance I could possibly be looking at it. Oops, wrong one. Free rotate, and we want this here, so that's at least kind of facing me. And I guess that's good enough. Then we're going to go through and we're going to put our plate on, so let's go place. And I think this one's in a weird spot. Kind of move some things around at times. Come on, open up. There we go. And we want plate. We'll say open. And we'll do the same kind of thing. We'll put this over here. See the orientation if it's going to be an easy click. Let's try to do it. Let's go constrain. We want to mate this to this. Looks like it worked. Click apply. I already derived all of these parts, including the nameplate, by the way. And then I'm going to make the front edge of the plate and of the desk mated together also, I hope. Not sure why that hasn't taken yet. Yep, something crazy just went on there. So let's see. We should be able to move that around. Let's get a front view here. Yeah, we just can't take it up plane, so that's good. So let's try and kick it back. Try to constrain it again. Let's go there to there. I must be clicking. See, I'm clicking a little low and I'm taking it out of plane. That's what it doesn't like. So let's reselect our second click here. See, now that's better. And I'll click apply. And I'll look at my bottom view, I guess, again. And then we will orient it so it's facing in the direction that we like. So, I don't know. Let's turn this. Let's go to that view. No, not that one. Bottom. Alright, so I think we like the way that looks. That's halfway decent. I'm a little askew here. I wish you could change your view, you know, set your view by a certain face. Maybe you can, I don't realize it, but I think that's kind of what we're looking for. So let's we'll hit save. No, we can't. We got to save it as whatever the name of this is. So it's save copy as, and should be 9 Duff body. I don't know why the top doesn't say that, but we'll say save. And yes, we want to replace it. Say okay, just make sure we've got this scene saved. As we're moving through, I'm going to save this to an STL, but as we're moving through, I just want to mention that the more complex your drawing is, like this is a pretty complex print, the more support material you're going to have to deal with, the more different objects you're going to deal with, and it's just going to make the whole thing more difficult. So when you plan out your scene, simple is better. I did a little more complex because I wanted to show you guys some of the ins and outs of it. So I hope you found that helpful. I know I couldn't find it. So let's go back here and we'll just name this. I'm going to name this 9.duffbody. 9.duffbody, but it's an STL. And of course we had caps lock on. 9.duffbody. I'll just take off the IAM so it saves as an STL. Click save, and there that is. So now we should be good with this as it's saving, and then we're going to go to Mesh Mixer. We're going to go to Microware. We're going to import it, and we'll show you how to do that in the next video because we still have a couple things we need to do to our neck. But this is essentially us saving our scene and saving an STL so that we can do that. So if you have any questions, obviously come up and ask.